You're watching the 2024 SCAC Baseball Media Days. Today, we're taking a look at the Texas Lutheran University baseball program. The Bulldogs will be led as they head into the season with the guidance of first-year new head coach Kyle Palmer, along with the leadership from junior pitcher Diego Vinton. Coach Diego, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us. We're excited to be here.
Coach, we'll get started with you. Jumping back, June 2nd, it was announced that you're returning back to your alma mater, hired as the 10th head coach there to run the baseball program at TLU. I'm just interested in kind of the transition for you, what these past few months have been like as you return back to a program that you proudly played at. How has that transition been, and just how excited are you to finally be here at the precipice of a new year?
Honestly, this was something that was never really on my map. My wife and I, we knew we wanted to get back to Texas, but at the same time, we didn't really know what that meant. And when the opportunity came, you better believe I got some butterflies in my stomach for sure. As far as the transition, it was unbelievable. My wife was 9 months pregnant at the time, so she getting a new job, me getting a new job, finding a house, trying to move to Texas. All those things, it was a little bit overwhelming at times. And so honestly, though, one of the really unique things about TLU, and I think the way it made the transition easy is, I called as many guys as I could on the roster and just kind of asked them, hey, tell me about TLU baseball. And it seemed like every single one of them, whenever you asked them to describe it, they didn't really have words, but it was, hey, we're player led. Hey, everybody's pulling the same direction. Everybody understands that the work is the work. It takes the work. And when you have guys like that on your roster, it really makes the transition a lot easier. You just let them work. You let them put in the time and do what it takes and know that they're going to be ready to go. And so that allowed me to focus on family. It allowed me to focus on really kind of setting in motion some of the things that I wanted as far as the program goes, maybe not say so much the baseball roster goes. And so, again, it really made for a smooth transition early on.
Diego, similar question, from a player's perspective. Just speak a little bit about Coach Palmer's introduction to the team. What has he brought and invigorized, within this program, and how has that transition just gone as he's sort of indoctrinated himself there at TLU here as we get ready to start a new season?
Yes, I think the transition was very well. Coach Palmer came in and we had our big team meeting, and he broke it down on what his priorities were and what he wanted us to accomplish as a team. Coming in, it was a little bit rocky at the first time, but once you got the groove and once you understood the accomplishment, and then it got a lot better. I think Coach Palmer's brought a lot of more attention to detail, more focus to the little things of baseball rather than just the home runs, the strikeouts, and all that. That it's the little things and it's the details that really matter, and that's going to win us a good championship this year.
Coach Diego talked a little bit about it, but as you've kind of tried to sort of set that initial foundation and put your fingerprints on this program here in this first year, what's kind of been those initial pillars, those initial messages to these guys that you really want them to try to grab onto and run with as you head in here to your first season at TLU?
This was a unique experience for me because I'm coming into a team that's had a lot of success, and not just in the last year, but in many, many years leading all the way back to whenever I played here. And so you try to come in and not mess with too much, but at the same time, you want to make it your own. And so really it was a learning experience on both sides. I try not to come in with, hey, this is how I want everything to look and how I want everything to be. But hey, let's look at what y'all really liked and what you've enjoyed and how we've had some success and what's led to that success and where do we need to be better. And so, it was honestly, it still has been a learning process, even coming into the spring of, hey, this is how we're going to do things. But part of it's, hey, this is player led. This is how the players want to do it. And it's worked for them. And part of it's me coming in and saying, hey, I'm seeing this area. It might be a little bit better if we change this or do this differently. And so, like Diego said, attention to detail has kind of been my thing. I'm a micromanager at my worst. I'm a little bit OCD. And so I try to use that to my advantage, but at the same time, I try to give some freedom where they need the freedom and where they can handle the freedom.
Diego, you're coming off a career season last year, honorable mention All SCAC, career best in terms of appearances, games started, wins, innings pitched. ERA, whip, strikeouts, all those things, the best that you've ever established in a single season. What does a season like that do for you in terms of your confidence? And how do you try to take those successes and kind of roll them into this season? What are some things that you've worked on that you've learned from that give you confidence going into your junior year?
Yeah, for sure. I think going into this junior year, I think Coach Palmer's made a big impact on our pitching staff. From the jump at the fall, we've learned what is our game plan, what are we going to do, how are we going to attack hitters, which are we going to do, and what goes what. And I think moving on from how my junior or sophomore year was, like I thought I knew pitching, but this year I can say I've grown a lot more again with Coach Palmer, knowing how to pitch and actually understanding what goes where and executing each pitch one at a time.
Coach, you look at this roster that you inherit, and there's some real talent that's coming back on this team. Starting with the reigning SCAC Player of the Year in Tyler Post, the guy sitting next to you, Diego Vinton, as I talked about, an All SCAC performer, Brandon Beard, Asher Bunnell. These are guys that have made impacts within this program and across the league now throughout the course of their career. Talk a little bit about this lineup, some of those guys maybe that as senior leaders or as leaders on this team that you've been able to maybe lean on in your transition as well, and what they're going to mean to this lineup heading into the season.
Yeah, I think all of us, staff and players, have leaned on those guys a lot over the course of the fall and spring because they've been there, they've done it, right? And so you got to lean into, hey, their experience and allow them to show you the different ways they've gone about their business. And so it's exciting for me. I think it's probably more pressure on them because I'm a new coach and they're like, I did it for this last staff. Now I have to prove it for a whole nother staff, but that's been good. I think that's kind of kept them with a chip on their shoulder and pushing every day. But also, I think there's new energy in the new guys too, because they see the opportunity of, hey, we lost a lot of guys on the offensive side. We lost a lot of guys on the bump. And so they all are coming in with a fresh slate and able to kind of, hey, this is my moment to shine and my moment to prove it's my chance. And so it's been really good. It's been a good mix of new and veteran. And hopefully we can continue to grow those young guys with those veteran guys.
Diego, certainly, when you get the call for a start, the impact that you have on the game is very evident and immediate. But, when as a starting pitcher, if it's not your day, I'm interested kind of the philosophy within the pitching staff, within that bullpen, about how maybe you can impact and still contribute even on days when you don't start. Are those things that you talk about as a group, and how are you going to try to, support the team, from kind of a pitching staff bullpen perspective, even on days when maybe your number's not called?
Yes, honestly, as a pitching staff, I feel like we always have to stay even. I feel like we're never too down, we're never too low. Even if when you're not starting, you always got to realize there's energy. I feel like personally, I feel like our staff is our main core of energy. I feel like we bring a lot of success, and a lot of our big time leaders are on our bullpen side. But as well, if you're not starting, you always got to stay up. I mean, make sure the team is up when the team is down. Make sure nobody's high, and make sure nobody's low. And then even during the game, you got to always stay locked in, because you can always pick something up, pick something off that nobody is or somebody may. So I think that's a good one.
And finally, Diego, obviously welcome in this new era of coaching, but you and a lot of these guys, as Coach said, have had a lot of success over your career there at TLU. So when you start to have those conversations heading into this season about some of the goals, the expectations within this program going into this new season, what have those conversations looked like with you and some of the other leaders, and what's going to be key in order to try and accomplishing those goals heading into the year?
I think our order to accomplish our goals is just like Coach Barnes, just buy in. Like he said, he's had certain success. Him coming in, we've had our success. I think together we've merged and we've got a good pattern. We found a good game plan. We found a good chemistry within each other. And I feel like this year is going to be. There's a lot of different roles, but I feel like it'll be a lot good. I feel like this year's team chemistry is something that I haven't had so far, and I feel like that's going to play a big role this year in our success.
And finally, Coach, wrapping things up with you, success, as we've talked about, can just be quantified in so many different ways, comes in so many different shapes and forms. When you talk about success with your guys and trying to measure that, what did those conversations look like? And as you look ahead to this season, this year's successful if what plays out, what are you looking for from this program, heading into your first season?
Yeah, so I think I came in with a little bit of advantage. This is my third conference in 3 years. And so last year at my previous institution, we were coming into all new conference. And so, you want to have the goals of win the conference, or you want to have the goals of go to the national championship. but when you don't really know the teams that you're facing outside what their numbers say on a piece of paper, it's hard to kind of quantify that. And so coming in for me, a new conference and not really knowing the teams as well, coming into a new program and not knowing the guys as well, it really is focused to be present minded. And so each and every day, we're just trying to go out there and maximize our abilities for that day, play the best that we can. Hopefully the ball bounces our way and the score works in our favor. And at the end of the season, we end it with a win and a dog pile. But at the same time, we just want to be present in every single day and just try to play our best each time we go out there.
TLU head baseball coach Kyle Palmer, along with junior Diego Vinton. The Bulldogs will open up the 2024 campaign on February 2nd when they take on Sul Ross State. Coach Diego, thanks so much for your time today and best of luck as you head into the year.
Thanks so much, Russell. Have a good one.